Okay, so what we're cooking today is some ribs, some pork ribs on the Lidl Kamado. So I reckon I can get 4 of these on to the little small, into that little small mini grill. So what we're going to do first of all is just trim this up a little bit, turn this over, get the silver skin off the back, which can be a bit of a pain, but generally we get a knife under here, so that we can get the membrane off the back. We don't really want to be chewing on that once it's cooked. I like to just get my finger, start it, get my finger under like that, just work it across, gradually come up. And then what I normally do, get a bit of tissue, that'll always get a good grip on it, and pull, and that's pretty much it. Any little bits you can come back on, that's the stuff you don't want on. Make sure you take the time to get it off, and these taste a lot better at the end. Now this is pretty good, they're not a bad shape, so put that to one side. I'm going to cut them roughly in half, so I reckon it's going to be about here. That'll give us that, and then what we'll do, we'll get the next rib rack on there. Bits like this, it's just going to burn, so cut it off, get rid of it. That's not very neat at the front there, so we'll cut that off, square that off a little bit. That looks pretty good to me, so we do the same again, roughly find the middle. Right, now before we actually get our rub on, what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to show you. So we're going to use these skewers. Now these are cut down a little bit. These are some old skewers that I've got. And what we're going to do, because we're going to stack these like this when they're on the grill. So they're going to be stacked so that they take on the smoke, and then later on in the process we can wrap them. Now I'm going to use the 3-2-1 method. I'm hoping I can get it done a little bit quicker than that, but we'll see. But generally 3 hours on the smoke. I'm maybe looking at 2 hours, but 3 hours on the smoke, 2 hours wrapped, and then an hour tacking off. But I might be able to lose a little bit of time on the tacking off and a little bit of time on the smoking, so maybe we'll just have a cook of about 4 hours, but we'll see how we go with that. So yeah, and these are going to go together, but what we're going to do first of all, we're going to get these prepped up now. So we'll get our mustard out, a little bit of mustard on them, nice and simple. Okay, so I'm going to put these into here because it just makes it easier when you're applying the rub, so the rub doesn't go absolutely all over the place. So I'll start them on their backs first, just a little bit on the back, don't go too bad with it. Flip these over. I mean, you can let that soak in for 5 minutes without putting mustard on, but you have to give it sort of like 5 minutes aside to let it absorb in. but we've not got time for that today, so it's a lovely colour. Right, so they're looking pretty good. So we'll get outside and we're going to put those on the Kamado. Right, so we're going to get the Kamado lit. If we look inside, I've got a little bit of cherry in there, and there is a little bit of hickory there, only a little tiny bit of hickory. It's quite a strong smoke. So that's all ready to go. All we've got to do is get this actually lit and come up to temperature. I've packed out the basket in there, so we'll just let that go before, I want that to catch fully before I put the deflector plate on there, because it's going to be quite a tight fit. Right, so we can see that's nice and warm now. It's just starting to smoulder a little bit, the wood. So we'll now put the deflector plate back in. Make sure you've got a gap around the side. Looks pretty good. Put our grill grate on. Right, and there's space in between all of these, so the smoke will get in there. So I'm quite happy with that. So we'll get this closed down. We'll let that take off some smoke now. Okay, so the ribs are looking pretty good. They've been on for about 2.5 hours, so they've got plenty of smoke on them. They've pulled back loads. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get these off, and I'm going to put them, foil them up. So I'm going to put some in some foil, get some butter on them, get some apple juice around them, and then we'll put them back on again. Right, so I've laid this down. I've got double sheeted this. There we go. So put it down, meat side down, otherwise these bones could poke a hole through the just move that to one side. So I'm just going to put a couple of pieces of butter in there. Nothing too much. Sit these on top. Pull this up a little bit. And then I've got some apple juice. Not too much. And then we're going to wrap these. So that's one done. We've got another 3 to go. Okay, so we're coming up to 4 hours on. So I need to get one of these off. Teflon hands. Close that back down again. and just give them a little probe. Pretty good. When you're probing these, make sure you don't just stick it through. It's not bad, but that's nowhere near it. It's going to be about another hour, I think, at least another hour. So we'll wrap those back up again and have a look in another hour. Right, so what we're using today is some Baby Ray's barbecue sauce, one of my favourites. Just load it up on here, get it on the back. And then we'll put this on back onto the barbecue for about, let's say 3, 2, 1. So you're supposed to tack it up and leave it for an hour, but these are cooked. I mean, they've been cooking at anything between 250 and 275 today, so they've cooked pretty quickly anyway.